energy. That's what we're talking about today, folks. The energy of life correlates to the set of notes titled Cellular Energy and Photosynthesis. Looks like that. Be filling that out as we go through these. So let's get rolling. So what is energy? Energy is the capacity to do work. You'll see that underneath define energy. That's what you want to write there. Be able to do work is defined as energy. Cells continually use energy to develop, grow, repair, reproduce, etc. You will place that under B. It says what cellular activities require energy? Well, when cells grow, develop, repair, reproduce, they need ATP to do that. Since we already know what ATP is, we've talked about energy before, you should understand that. When talking about reactions, we have two parts of the reactions, and we did this earlier in the chemistry unit. We have reactants and we have products. The reactants are the substances that participate in the reaction. The products are the substances that form as a result. So in other words, the products are what we get at the end of the reaction. The reactants are what we put into the reaction. Now on your sheet there, it says B, examine the illustration below. Okay, we're talking about this illustration over here. It's going to ask you to write down the first three reactants, the things that are going into being able to create products. So you see we have light here. It's a little spelled incorrectly though, but we got light there. It's a photo from the internet. You see you've got carbon dioxide and you've got water. We've got 6 carbon dioxides, 6 H2O, and sunlight. That's what you put in those first 3 blanks. And then after the arrow, remember the products always come after the arrow. After the arrow, you've got C6H12O6, which is glucose or sugar, plus 6 oxygen. So that's how you set up a reaction like that. You can get those things from a picture like this. All right, ATP. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. You can see it right here. A, T, and P. All right, adenosine triphosphate. Many reactions require the supply of energy, and ATP is the energy that they're going to use. ATP is the chemical energy used to power the cell. ATP is a nucleotide made up of the following: adenosine, a ribose sugar, and 3 phosphate groups. So check it out over here. We've got phosphate group 1, phosphate group 2, phosphate group 3. Then you've got your ribose, which is a sugar, and you have your adenosine. So adenosine, tri-1,2,3, phosphate. All right, that's why it's called that. Okay, so now we're back to the notes that you can fill in there. It says ATP is the blank used to power the cell. Well, it's the energy used to power the cell, in case you missed that. Your next one underneath A says ATP stands for, and that's it here, adenosine triphosphate. When cells need energy, they spend ATP, so they have to use it. ATP supply is maintained by breaking down glucose during something called cell respiration, which we didn't get to yet, but we're going to discuss. Now going from ATP to ADP. Move myself here so you can see. The energy in ATP is stored in the bonds between the phosphate group. So if you look on your notes there, it says C, where is the energy stored in the ATP molecule? It's stored in the bonds. All right? So how is energy released? Well, that's this line here. Energy is released when the bonds are broken. Boom. Okay, bonds break, energy is given off. And you'll see down here in the bottom that your notes ask you to circle and label the 3 products that result when ATP is used. So you've got it over here, and then afterwards, the products are after the arrow, remember. We've got 1 inorganic phosphate, we've got 2 adenosine diphosphate, and we've got 3 energy. So those are the 3 items that you want to circle on your sheet there that are used after or are the products. This process converts ATP into ADP. Di means 2. So if we look over here, we've got 1, 2, 3 phosphates, but over here, we've only got 2. And we got the 1 hanging out over here. So they're not together anymore. Okay, ATP is a reusable molecule. And you'll see here that we've got our 3-phosphate, meaning that we have a charged battery. When we have our 2 phosphates, it's uncharged. It's not fully charged, so we have to recharge it. The conversion of ADP to ATP is a cycle. So once we get to the 2 phosphates, we're going to have to regain a phosphate and start all over again. And you see it here. We've got ADP or ATP with 3 here. We lose one, we've got ADP. We eat some food as energy, we gain another phosphate. Now we've got a full ATP molecule. Then we're going to use it, and so forth. It's going to continue to do that cycle. So F on your note says, how's the conversion between ATP and ADP act as a rechargeable battery? Well, now it's your turn to come up with it in your words. How do you think, based on what I told you, it uses it for a rechargeable battery? I'll be asking you for your thoughts. All right, that's the end of section 1. We're going to come back into class and discuss those, and then we're going to get to labeling a leaf and its parts. So come on back in. We'll discuss what you just learned.